Welcome to Unveiled Herstory, where forgotten stories of women are brought to light. Today, in our very first episode, we shall travel back to the dark ages of feudal society where women faced oppression and injustice. Tắt Đèn Lights Out, widely recognized as one of the seminal works of Vietnamese literature, is not only a literary masterpiece, but rather a heartbreaking outcry against the cruel fate of Chị Dậu, a woman who fought against her fate when she was cornered. Did her struggle make any difference in her outcome? And what undiscussed struggles did women of own withhold? Now, let's make together work through the pages of history to realize that a darkness is only revealed when we choose to stay silent. The novel protagonist is a woman named Chị Dậu, born as Lê Thị Đào, a once pretty smart and industrious girl from a lower middle-class family. Initially, Chị Dậu and her husband lived a relatively stable life. However, misfortune struck. Her mother-in-law and her brother-in-law passed away, leading to immense funeral expenses. Soon after, her husband Anh Dậu fell ill with the malaria, rendering him unable to work. The family, once stable, became one of the poorest in the village. When tax season came, Chị Dậu made desperate efforts to find someone who would lend her money to pay for her husband's poll tax, but no one in the village offered to help. Yet, tax collector dragged Anh Dậu, then gravely ill, to the communal house unchained. In the final desperate act, Chị Dậu sold her 7-year-old daughter, Cái Tí, and a newborn litter of puppies to a wealthy landowner, Chị Nghỉ Quế, in order to raise the two đồng needed to pay the tax. That night, he was carried home on the brink of death. A kind neighbor, pitying their plight, gave Chị Dậu a bowl of rice porridge for her husband. However, just as he lifted the spoon to his lips, tax enforcers stormed in, demanding payment. Chị Dậu initially pleaded, "Please have mercy." But when the words fell, she fought back, knocking down a tax collector in the moment of desperation. Defiance got her arrested. The corrupt district magistrate, trying to harass her in court, instead of surrendering, she threw a handful of coins in his face and ran away. She was later saved by an official servant who lent her money to settle that remaining tax and offered her drop milking cows for the elderly official, who couldn't chew solid food anymore. Chị Dậu discusses it with her husband, arranged for her younger daughter to stay with her kind neighbors, and set off for a city. At first, she managed to earn and send money home. But one fateful night, the elderly official crept into her room with wicked intentions. The novel closed with a haunting line. She ran out into the night, black as ink, as dark as her own fate. Every single time after reading Tắt Đèn, we will see the suffocating despair woven into every aspect of Chị Dậu life. Trusting taxation, she was forced to save her own child just to pay her husband and deceased brother-in-law taxes. Brutality against the poor. Her husband was tortured despite his illness. Systemic injustice. The tax enforcers, village headmen, and magistrates treated the poor as disposable. Emotional devastation. She bore the weight of her family's survival alone. Yet, as the saying goes, even a worm's will turn when trampled too much. Chị Dậu transformation from submission to defiance is a testament to human resilience. Her resistance was not heroic in traditional sense, but an instinctive reaction to unbearable oppressions. Her story is just not an expo of feudal cruelty. It is a message about hidden strength of women. Their choices were not easy. They were born from desperation, not rebellion. And yet, in her instinct to receive the early spark of something bigger, awareness, self-worth, and the refusal to be broken. Her defiance may not have changed her fate, but it's carved her name into history. Ngoc didn't write Tắt Đèn to give us a heroine who wins. It is not a fairy tale. He gave us a mirror of a society that failed its women, of a justice system built on cruelty, and of the quiet, a fierce strength required just to survive. But most importantly, he gives us a warning. Darkness only reveals when we choose to stay silent. Today, we break that silence. We tell your story, and through it, the story of countless women who suffer invisibly. Their pain is not just a page of a book, it's a call to empathy, to action, and to remembering. If you were in her position today, what would you do? Stay silent, run away, or seek help? These are difficult questions, but they are exactly the ones we must ask ourselves. Because even though centuries have passed and we no longer live under feudal lodge or the colonial rulers, oppression often takes new shapes, more subtle, just as suffocating.
And that wraps up our very first episode of the Unveiled Herstory. Thank you for listening. If you have stories to share, please reach out to us through our official Instagram accounts. Thank you.